Hey, so I've been dying to do like some movie reviews. I usually sit down and I'll write like a movie review, but what I do is I start writing it and then I never finish it. So I decided to kind of go with video this time. Kind of love YouTube. I sit on there all the time and look at people's stuff, so I've decided to do a review for a movie that I saw last night in the theater, and it was Terminator Genisys. So this is my no spoiler review of Terminator Genisys. If you know about Terminator Genisys, basically it's kind of a sequel, kind of a reboot. Really, with Terminator, I've seen the first movie. I've seen T2, of course, as everyone has. And I actually did see Terminator 3, The Rise of the Machines, which is probably not the greatest in the series. I didn't see any of the Terminator Salvation. I didn't see the Sarah Connor Chronicles. That's nothing that I watched. So I was really excited when there was truly kind of a new Terminator movie coming out. I really wanted to see it. You know, obviously it's going to have a good cast in there and stuff. So basically my impression was kind of like this. I mean, I really liked the movie. I thought it was a great movie. And it's funny because I've watched some reviews and the reviews seem to be saying that it's not that great. But I totally disagree, so I wanted to share and kind of an opposite opinion, really, from what other people are saying. So here's why I think it's great. First, the special effects. The special effects are huge in this movie. You know, if you look at the Terminator 2, the James Cameron movie, that movie had really good special effects for its time. This movie is just the same. It has really good special effects for its time. Now, we're a lot more advanced this year than we were in that year, so, you know, the special effects are great. The other thing that I really like about it is the 3D. I did watch it in IMAX 3D. One thing I always do when I'm questioning what kind of movie ticket to buy is I actually go to cinemablend.com/3D. They have this great thing on their site where they're going to basically tell you whether or not it's worth seeing the movie in 3D. In this case, they actually gave it a really good score. They said that it was a 33 out of 35 that you should watch it in 3D. So I actually took that to the max and went and watched IMAX 3D, and I was really impressed with the look of the movie. It looked great. Special effects are great. If you look at the review on cinemablend.com/3D, it's basically telling you that the 3D is really good in this film, and I found that to be true. But it's not just special effects, it's not just the 3D that really made this movie great. I honestly think if I would have chose to see it in 2D, I would have liked it as well. The cast was great. You had the guy that played the really douchebaggy guy in Divergent. I think his name is Jai Courtney. He was the bad guy in Divergent. He was really good in this film. He did a lot different part than what he did in Divergent. He really made you like him in the role he has in this film. So there's a big difference there. Also, it was kind of interesting that J.K. Simmons was in the movie. If you don't know who that is, he played J. Jonah Jameson in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. So he played that role great. He's not quite as prominently featured in this movie, but he does play an important role. There's also Emilia Clarke, which I believe she's in Game of Thrones. I don't watch that personally, but you know, she was really good. For Sarah Connors, I actually liked her better than I liked the other Sarah Connors that I've seen. There was just something about her that gave her a more likable quality than even the T2 Sarah Connors. I really like the Sarah Connors that they had in this. And then you've got, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who I'm a big fan of. That I really like. I've always liked his movies. I mean, one of my favorite movies is Jingle All the Way with him. Also love Last Action Hero. And just any real good Arnold Schwarzenegger movies I really like. So he was great in this. I felt like he was pretty evenly featured. He's not like in the movie just a little bit. He's throughout the whole film, so that's great. There were a few negatives that I kind of thought were odd a little bit. The biggest negative, I guess, is that the movie peaks towards the beginning. The movie is really best right when it starts. It comes out of the gate, there's a lot of action, it's fast, and that's great. But then it sort of does slow down a little bit, not a lot, but the peak of the action and all of the thrills and all that type of stuff, it's really a peak at the beginning of the movie. The other thing is that obviously the movie is a rehash or a reboot or a sequel or really whatever you want to call it. It's kind of hard to define what it is exactly. I would say really it's kind of a reboot more than anything. But you know, I really liked it though. I thought that the good stuff about it really outweighed any negativity. There's some surprises that I thought really rounded it out really well, and that was the comedy in the movie. There's a lot of good comedy in the movie. Some of it is repeated, but it's not repeated so much that it becomes boring. Like, they put it in there the perfect amount of times. And then there is a couple of surprises there for people that appear in the film. For example, there's someone from Doctor Who in the film, which is really cool. I don't personally watch Doctor Who. It's always something I've wanted to get into. I just never have. But maybe this will actually push me over the edge there as to getting into Doctor Who. So ultimately, a really good movie. It doesn't deserve a negative review at all. It deserves a positive review, and I would say go see it if at all possible. See it in 3D because that's really the way it's meant to be seen. And check out the movie, Terminator Genisys.